Good Thursday evening, East Tennessee. I just feel like I've been warmed up all of a sudden. Thank you for joining me here at 8:39 on a Thursday night. We have a little bit of snow showing up on the radar, so I thought maybe this is the time to crack open the hot chocolate. Maybe the hot cocoa. Maybe it's the eggnog time from Weigel's. Whatever it is, I'm just so happy because it is the week before Thanksgiving. Many of you are excited because the change of season is upon us, and it seems like, I don't know, a rapid start. It's not even December 1st. It's not even meteorological winter yet. But if you're on the call, want to say good evening to you. This is a special edition of the live stream we're doing at night. Usually we do it at 6:40 in the morning and go till 7. But it is now 8:39, so we'll maybe go to 8:40. We'll go to the top of the hour. I think it can be done in about 15, 20 minutes. But if you're on the call, let me go ahead and enjoy the fire. Maybe some of you would like to see the warm fire. I got a note from Danny. Danny is one of our big Vol fans because every time he leaves me a note, it usually ends with the two words, go Vols. Happy to have Danny here. She says, good evening. Hope you have a great night. And hopefully you're staying warm, Danny. It is awfully cold in some spots, and some of that may be accumulating on some surfaces, mainly north. But let's get to the radar. Let's delay no further. Oh, I see some blue. Well, I see some purple. And then on top of the purple, I see some blue. The blue would be snow. The purple would be the winter weather advisory that the National Weather Service has already placed in place. It started at 4, and then they started even before that. This was supposed to start at 10 o'clock tonight. Well, it's already 8:40. Clearly, this has gotten an early jump on some of you. So if you're in Greene County, if you're in Union County, if you're in Anderson County, and you have some snowflakes, would love to hear about it. You have your opportunity. You can leave me a comment, and I'll do my best to put your name and picture on the screen, just like I did with Danny. Danny says, good evening. Again, hope you have a great night. So we could put him back on there just to show you what it would look like, but love to have you appear and leave me any snow report. If you're getting some flurries, or maybe it's just maybe a wet snowflake here or there, not amounting to much, that's okay. But I want to show you the ultimate Doppler radar here. It is now 8:41. And most of what you can see here is dropping down from the north. The Ultimate Doppler Radar is presented by your local Marco's Pizza. I'll talk more about them here in a moment. But it is interesting to note we had another midday high today. Yesterday we hit 70 around midday. Today there was some conflicting information. It was like 52, 51. No, it turned out it was 51 today. So at 12:20 at midday we hit our peak. And then it just started getting colder again. All of a sudden we went from sun to clouds. It was like the reverse of yesterday. Because yesterday we went from clouds to sun. Just the way it goes. 58, the normal high, and the normal low is 37. We started this morning off at 35 degrees at 7:01. So that's the official almanac. You might say, well, I don't live in Knoxville, David. Could you please help me out? Peak wind gust was 37 miles an hour. But here are the high temperatures, most of the midday highs. They did hit 46 in La Follette, and they hit 43 in Crossville. Wanda Poe, however, she's in the Newport area. She had 48 for a high temperature today. It looks like evening. She says, my daughter said snowflakes are falling here in Newport. I say, Wanda, you must be thrilled because I think you are the longest standing member of Team Snow. You love snow, and I know you were mentioning your birthday's coming up in December. So maybe you'll get some snow as you had hoped. Hopefully that wish will come true. 46 was the high in Wartburg and 46 in Kingston, while they did make it to 54 down in McMinn County further south in the Southern Valley. You go further north, boy, they were 10 degrees colder in Jackson, Kentucky, and only 42 in Lexington, where they too have been under a winter weather advisory in central Kentucky. Let's talk about temperatures right now. As of 8 o'clock, we're at 42, Oak Ridge 39, but that doesn't tell the story because we got those winds. Remember the winds? It's actually freezing right now in Bell County, Crater City. But in Scruffy City, Marble City, Knox Vegas, it's 42. So a 10-degree difference between our friends in Knoxville and our friends in Middlesboro. That's just the way it goes. But 35 current temperature in Crossville, and I see 34 in Jamestown. I got Danny, I got Wanda on the call. If you're on the call, I see Robin's watching, Daryl's watching. Maybe you leave me a comment. I'll do my best to magnify your voice. But our current temperatures just tell part of the story. We started with the snow. Actually started with the fire, and then we went to the snow. But the winds are moving at 11 miles an hour. So let's do the math, right? All those wind engineers, that's what they call them. Wind engineers, they come up with the formula for the wind chill, the wind chill factor. There's got to be a factor here. There's no gust at the moment, but it's gusting in some spots. It feels like 36. So 42 magically drops to 36 with an 11 mile an hour wind. Well, that's weird. So that's 4 or 5. That's a 6-degree drop. So it feels 6 degrees colder. And if you're in, say, Jamestown, Fentress County, God love you, man, you're at mid-20s. It's cold. And this is November. Oh, my goodness. It is like the 21st. It's not even December. You still got 9 more days, Jamestown, before you get to winter meteorological start, and you already feel like 25 here at 8:44 in the evening. Temperatures right now in the state, 43 Nashville, 47 Memphis, 34 Johnson City. Those are the current readings at this particular time. I got to show you the radar again. I mentioned it's coming down from the north. You don't need a meteorologist to tell you that. Well, I can see that. That's a time lapse over the last 6 hours. So what you see is that it's all spinning down from a low pressure system. And so we're getting snow, but because the temperature's in Knoxville at 42, we have very little chance of getting anything on the car rooftop tomorrow morning. When you wake up and say, man, I thought it snowed, looked like a flake, maybe a little bit of a sleet pellet, that's possible. But where it's colder, like Middlesboro, they might pick up a trace to an inch or two on the grassy surfaces, mind you. But this is the main event. I don't think we're going to get much more snow from this system after tonight. There may be a few flakes maybe tomorrow night into Saturday morning, but mainly Tri-Cities. It's really going to be, I think this is the push that's going to come down from the north. And when it comes down from the north, it typically takes or favors the horseshoe effect. I remember back, I think it was the day after Christmas, correct me if I'm wrong, it was 2022. And we got 1.6 inches of snow in Knoxville. But places like Rocky Top, Lake City, got like nothing. And they were like, it snowed? It came from the north. So you could get a good snow, 1.6. You could get a snow in Knoxville from the north, but usually north-northwest. If it's configured in such a way, it's usually horseshoe. And some of you say, that's nonsense. I don't like horseshoe. Because if you live in the valley, your elevation is practically 900 feet above sea level. We don't see the cold air like our neighbors around us. So that's why you typically can get that solution. Here's another look at the radars. We're looking, I'm seeing Clinton, I'm seeing Wartburg, I'm seeing La Follette. If you've got a snow report, we heard it from Wanda. She says it's snowing in the Newport area. What about Maynardville? What about Norris? What about Blaine? Oh, what about Blaine? What about Morristown and Rutledge and maybe over toward Luttrell? Mascot, there might be trying. I mean, you step outside, you say, I don't know, it's like spit. It's like spitting rain and maybe a flake. It's cold. Huntsville, Oneida. But if we were to change this up, if we were just to change this up to the national radar, it looks very different. You see what I mean? You see these darker blues, and then you go, oh, yeah, that looks like it's snowing pretty good in Union County. Maybe it's snowing pretty well in parts of Claiborne and Granger County. But it is trying to move into Knox County. And I'm kind of curious to know what you're seeing, if you're getting much of anything at all. I would love to hear about it if you have time in this live stream. I see the motion of it. This is what's happened over the last 8 hours. They had to add, the Weather Service, had to add Claiborne County. Claiborne County was not purple at the beginning of that map there. There it is. It's not colored. And then all of a sudden it is, right? So maybe before 4 o'clock, they decide we're going to throw in Tazewell and New Tazewell and Claiborne County, and Hancock County. Don't forget Kyles Ford and Sneedville, Rogersville. Some of those areas were not under the winter weather advisory, just say this morning or early afternoon, but they did include it, and they did include most of Greene County now. So the expectation is you're going to get some snow accumulation in those areas. Marcos.com, if you're looking for a late night snack, they do deliver. They are in Hardin Valley. They're in Farragut and Maryville. They're also located in Fountain City and Halls, Oak Ridge, Middlebrook Pike, and Ebenezer Road. They give back to No Kid Hungry. They also give back to East Tennessee Children's Hospital. Love their magnificent pizza they call the Magnifico for less than $10. Doesn't that look good right now? Also, it looks great when you throw on the Italian sausage. Maybe some mushrooms, some green peppers. Ooh, that sounds delicious. And some onions. And if you're going to deliver it, have them deliver it because they do late. They're all about delivering late too. Their original sauce, and they've got the signature 3 cheeses on the deluxe. They also have garden, all meat. They have all sorts of varieties. But getting back to the snow, did I mention they could get over 6 inches in the higher ridges? In fact, it wouldn't surprise me. As I've indicated to my premium members, we could get 5 to 10 on a Mount LeConte. Easy. 5 to 10 inches of snow by tomorrow morning because it's going to collect on the higher terrain. It's so much colder there. If you knew the temperature there compared to where we are now, big difference, right? It's more than just 6 degrees. It's a dramatic cold change if you head up above 6,000 feet. So if you're headed up towards, say, even Newfound Gap, Chimney Tops, they could find 6 inches plus, 1 to 3 generally on the hilltops. But the winds could be gusting around 40. We had a 37-mile-an-hour gust today. This runs until 10 a.m. on Friday. Let's show you the bigger picture. You can see the spin. It's spinning into northern New York or upstate New York in the form of rain, but it comes back around the Great Lakes, and it supplies more moisture down from Indianapolis, the Ohio Valley, and it's now knocking on the door here in Knoxville. It's 8:49. Very thankful for your time this evening. If you're watching, would love to say hi. Got some other comments. I see Linda's on here. She says snow here in Washburn, but it's melting when it hits the ground. Yeah, it's too warm at the surface, said Linda. I mean, I could draw a snow map, but then it adds too much legitimacy, like, oh, a zero to trace, what does that mean? Exactly. So for Knoxville, it's pretty much a nothing burger this go around. But there's opportunities later, I'm sure, in the days and weeks to come. Susan Blaine, one of my premium members, says, hi, David, I saw some flurries. They're flying around today when I was in Morristown. Thank you for that update. Love that. Kathy Nichols Coffee says, snowing pretty hard in Bean Station. I love, and then when it's over, you let me know how much it's stuck, because it's one of those situations. Bean Station, you're kind of in that colder pocket, maybe not as warm as downtown Knoxville, but glad to have you on the call, Kathy. And I believe it's Daphne Cannon says it's a blanket of white in Harrogate. Oh, good. Well, you're getting your first little taste of it. Harrogate, of course, for those that might be new to East Tennessee, is right on the border of Kentucky and Tennessee. But it is very nice up there. I love that Harrogate, because you've got the Lincoln Memorial University and so many good things right across the state line to Middlesboro. And they may pick up a trace to 3. Some of the higher terrain in Harlan County for sure. Janet Whitlock says it's snowing here. And one of my strong Team Snow members, Judy Kerr, says she saw some flurries, and thank you for keeping us aware. My pleasure. I'm hiding up some of my headlines here, but snow showers tonight. This is the main event, folks. If you're waking up tomorrow expecting more, it's when it gets dark, right? That's when all the mischief takes place. It's all when the mayhem. It's like the insurance commercial, right? All the mayhem and mischief occurs with snow at night. You get night, you get snow. It's a perfect day. That's why you throw in the virtual fireplace, you throw in the hot chocolate, the hot cocoa, and you're in business, I think, anyway. Maybe some eggnog, too, from Weigel's. Spotty flakes and drops tomorrow, but the main event's tonight. And then early clouds of sun on Saturday. I think the ball game, which I'll show you in a moment, will be mostly sunny. But if you're tailgating in the morning, because it's a 1 o'clock game, many of us will be tailgating early. I expect clouds to greet you in the AM hours. That's why the Tennessee game against UTEP is so important. I call it the mirror image. We are 8-2. If you're not a sports fan, they're 2-8. They're not likely to win this game. We're the cool orange. They're the weird orange. That's okay. University of Texas at El Paso, I'm expecting a kickoff of 49, 52 at halftime. That's about the high for the day. And then we'll end the fourth quarter around 50. So I would suspect, unless something really like the wheels fall off the wagon, I would suspect we'll be 9-2 by about 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon. If you think if that's an accurate depiction, you could support me with a comment. I'd love to see it. By the way, if you think this little burst of snow is just a flash in the pan, look at the dates of this, my friend. That says November 27th. That includes Thanksgiving. That's 28th, and Black Friday shopping. And then we got December 1st. That's the start of meteorological winter. It would seem that we've got more of this. I mean, if I weren't an atmospheric scientist, I would think that maybe some of that cold air in the Dakotas and Canada could be headed here. And maybe it's time to get some of the firewood. Maybe it's now at a higher price. So again, join us on Premium. You can get the intel long before everyone else hears about it. So in fact, we were talking, you know how everyone's talking about Thanksgiving? My Premium members, we were showing them pictures about Christmas Eve. So that's how far, we're four weeks ahead, right? We're already expecting the weather pattern to take shape. What's going to happen around Christmas Eve? Would you like to know? Join us on Premium. You can always cancel at any time. But here's the snow potential. You can pick out your favorite town. This one suggests that we might get a few flurries in Knoxville. Surely we've got some of that on the radar. But does it stick? See, this is the big conundrum. This is the Sudoku, the puzzle. I mean, how much of this sticks? If you're in the Smokies, by far and away, you'll get potentially 5 to 10 if you're around Mount LeConte or what was Clingman's Dome, and now Newfound Gap, Chimney Top. Some of these spots will get quite a bit of hefty snow, as the Weather Service believes it's 6+, and there might be some indications for that, some arguments for that. But again, it's all about elevation. So if you're in the valley, you'll be disappointed. It may fall, but what sticks might be a different story. And grassy surfaces are more susceptible, as is car rooftops, the cold car rooftops that have been outside, not the ones that have been in the warm garage all night long. But snow potential, this is slide number 2. This one has, I think, 8 inches. Does that look like it? Yeah, just maybe not far from Mount LeConte. So I think you probably could find 5 to 10 plus in those 6,000 and higher up elevations. Anything above 4,000 could clearly have close to 6 inches of snow. It's just one of those things. And I'm sure it'll be shared pretty rapidly and pretty far and wide with social media by tomorrow afternoon with the pictures. By the way, here's the Futurecast. It's 8:54. I hope to be done here in the next 6 minutes. This is what's driving some of this snow down. It's a trough. It's that broken line of low pressure that's dropping down from Kentucky. It's pushing it down from the north and west. In order for Knoxville to get a good sizable snow like we had 10 months ago, we typically look for what I call the southern slider. Think of a baseball, right? The southern slider comes in between, say, Atlanta and Chattanooga, and we might be in that sweet spot for snow because it comes back around like a snowmaker, and it comes back down from the Tri-Cities. This is coming down from Lexington, so it's not the most favored direction, but as I indicated back in 2022, day after Christmas, we did get 1.6 inches of snow from a system that came down more from a northerly direction. So it can happen. It just depends on some other variables and other factors. And it's not always a one-size-fits-all type of situation with snow. But in this case, you can see by 5 o'clock tomorrow, it looks like it's trying to snow again in southwest Virginia. And that's why I say we'll have another chance for flakes in Tennessee. But it looks like it's going to be pretty much on the fringe of our viewing area, as it were. Some of that will move in like so, a little bit of blue there, maybe around Unicoi County. Some of those areas in the Tri-Cities could have some snow, but I think really the main event is tonight. So if you're enjoying it now, just savor it. Carpe diem, carpe snowflake, because tonight's the night until we get our next go-around. Hopefully that'll be in the near future for those who are on Team Snow. Some of you are already checking in for Team Spring. You're waiting for spring to come back. Lots of sunshine on Saturday developing. And I think Sunday is mostly sunny. So let me get to the forecast. It is now 8:56. I want to leave time for some of your comments. Visibility will be perhaps freezing fog, right? We've got temperatures for us down to 35, us meaning Knoxville. But some of those Smokies and higher terrain are not only going to have a fresh blanket of snow, but they're also going to have temperatures that are going to be below freezing in the higher elevations. So that will stick pretty quickly when it's that cold in Newfound Gap and maybe even Ober-Gatlinburg. Certainly the colder areas there, but some fog may be found in those white areas first thing tomorrow morning. That takes you through about 8:30 or even 9 o'clock. So let me get to the forecast. Tonight, we are expecting a low of 35. All right, 35. We're at 42 now. So we're at 7-degree drop from where we are now. And even at 35, it's not going to stick a whole lot, right? I'm looking at some of the comments that are coming in on my phone here. I see people like Linda Linda Williams is watching. Hi, Linda. And I see Carrie Wilson's watching. Lee's watching. So glad to have you here. If you have a thought about the snow or a report, I'll do my best in a second. We're going to get the comments posted on the screen in a moment. 33 for a low in Newport. Look at this, 29 in Sevierville. That's cold stuff. Normal low this time of year is like 37. But when we were like running at 70 and we were warmer than that, some of us didn't bat an eyelash. Oh, that's normal. No, it's not. When you're that warm above normal, you usually see the pendulum swing, just like the tide at the beach. And this is the kind of situation where 37 is normal. We're only going to be about 2 degrees below that. But certainly looking at that 29 in Crossville, Lake Tansy, Fairfield, Glade, even Seymour could be closer to 32. So keep in mind the chill is there, and where you see some coloring in Gatlinburg, they'll be in the probably lower 20s. Lower 20s. With the snowpack, the snow cover, some of those elevation areas will be like a taste of winter. Mostly cloudy tonight, some snow showers, the accumulating factor mainly for the Smokies and higher elevations, but I don't want to rule out our friends in Harlan or Bell County, anything above, say, 1,500 feet, you may be on that trace to 3-inch route. 35 degrees. Wouldn't that be something? No, that's a different story. 35 degrees for a low, mostly cloudy, and I have winds gusting 30 to 35 out of the west, 5 to 15. So for tomorrow, 47. Again, we hit 51 today. Oak Ridge hit 50, so we'll be about 3 or 4 degrees cooler, and we will find, I think, clouds giving way to some hazy sun, but it's not going to be bright the entire day. Friday, 47, clouds and hazy sun, winds gust tomorrow 25 to 30. It just feels blustery, and if you've been getting used to the sweater weather, well, you've got that as well tomorrow. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. There's a warming trend. I think we're headed to 60. 60's nice. 60's real nice on Sunday. In fact, we can do even better than that on Monday at 68, but that comes with mainly afternoon rain showers. Another round of it comes at night. I doubled the chance to 60 Monday night. and then it's another tumble, meaning even though the 61-degree high Tuesday comes probably between midnight and 5 a.m., it's most of the day in the 50s. We cool down to 37 come Wednesday morning. That's a big travel day. There'll be a lot of cars on the roads, and some will be headed into through the air around the country because Turkey Day looks soggy. There will not be a dry turkey anywhere in East Tennessee. And maybe that's good, right? The turkey, you like it moist. But I'll tell you what, I mean rain showers, periods of rain, buckets of rain. Looking at some of my data and some of my solutions, I would suggest we're probably on track around close to an inch and a quarter. That's the kind of rain potentially just for Turkey Day. So it might throw in a little bit of thunder for good measure with overnight lows around 52. That convection is also on the table. So the question is, can it get colder for Black Friday? And I think the answer is probably yes. So there's a lot that can happen between now and the next 7-8 days. You can download the free Captain Accurate Weather app. We now have 10 days on the app. So you get a 10-day forecast, which is a real sweet bonus. So you can see the trend that's going on at any time. I got a note from Judy. She says 34 degrees at my house right now. I believe she's in the Rutledge area, if I'm not mistaken. Wanda Poe, Newport area, says glad there's some snow in the forecast. She's a happy camper when there's snow in the forecast. And I did I miss a note here? Oh, yeah, Wanda mentioned earlier. She said, yes, I'm on Team Snow. And boy, is that wind sure is blowing. So yeah, you got to make sure you bundle up. Think layers, even though it's still technically autumn. We're getting a little preview as winter has now made a little early appearance with tonight. And I'll go back to the radar here. I want to see if we can look at what we're seeing in terms of the, let's go back to the, go back to the snow. And this is, again, when we look at the national radar, maybe it's easier to see because with a fine tooth comb, the radar is not always going to be able to detect the reflectivity of some of the smaller snowflakes like the flurries. But if we go back to the radar, it definitely sees it right in here. I'm going to pick my Tennessee orange here. So right in here is where we're seeing it on the Morristown radar. If we go back and switch it to the national radar, see if that corresponds with some of the, so the darker blues are definitely where it's snowing, maybe more moderately, and it seems like it's doing so right in the heart of Knox County. So maybe say around Fountain City, some of the darker blues, you got that right in here. Just coloring in like a crayon, but mostly in Anderson County, Union, and maybe just south of Caryville, you have some darker blues right now that would suggest that moderate snow is at least falling. The question is, will it stick around? And with temperatures right now, as we've hit 9 o'clock, last I checked, we were still into the lower 40s. Yeah, see, now it's trying to change to green. You see what's happened there? The temperatures are going to determine what we see or don't see. And keep in mind, when you see this on the radar, I don't know if it's as well as understood. When you see the green here, that's the average, right, in the column of air. So it's suggested this has to be rain. But there could be some snowflakes in here. And similarly, where it's blue, the average is assuming it's snow, but it could be mixing in with some rain as well. So the color legend is a help, but it doesn't always. That's why having weather spotters are so much more useful, because you get a better actual picture, at least ground truth, as it were. But if I go back to the temperatures, I know we hit 9 o'clock. Let me scurry back to the top of my list here. Let's see where we are. Oak Ridge has suddenly come back in. They were offline today for a while. Yeah, they're at 40. So this is your 9 o'clock temperatures. You're not going to get sticking snow when it's 40 and 41. I think we're in agreement there. Let me go back to put this in play, because this way I can at least highlight the hot spots that might be getting the snow sticking just by looking at the temperature and where we are at the moment. Let me put this in play. Yep, I got this to illustrate here. So where you see, I would say here, 34, better chance of sticking. Definitely sticking where you got freezing, right? 32 here. But when it's 40, 41, you're going to have a hard time making it, even in Newport at 40. Some of those spots are going to have a hard time getting this to stick, at least at this time. Overnight lows in the mid-30s. So, again, very thankful for all of you. If you're on the call, just want to say good evening to you. It's 9:03. I pretty much have presented all that I wanted to present tonight. But if you have another follow-up comment, I'll do my best to share that with you. Make sure, by the way, you download the free Captain Accurate Weather app. I mentioned that is on the App Store and Google Play. I also have, at your disposal, the, let's just say, the premium service. So if you want to join us, hit the subscribe button at the top of my Facebook page. I have a 15-minute video that is my winter weather outlook. One of the items I will reveal now was a fast start, and I was talking about that around the 28th of October. So what is today? That was more than 3 weeks ago. And so a lot of our premium members knew that if they were going to buy some firewood, and I can think of Diane Ladyhawk, she's like, I'm buying it because I said it's going to be a fast start. We're not even in December yet, and some of you are going to have some accumulating snow in some of the outlying areas. You're the first to see my snow forecast. If you're a premium member, you're also the first to see every forecast. As I mentioned, we've been focusing on Christmas Eve tonight. So if it's an important item to know, if you like to be in the know, and you're not so much a spontaneous person, but you like to know the trends, that's what I'm here to give you and serve you in any way that I can. If you want to be a premium member, you're also benefiting about 4 extra Facebook Lives a month. I do them typically on a Sunday to help the premium members plan for the week ahead. You also receive fewer ads, so keep in mind all that comes by way of the premium service on Facebook. So yeah, just jump back to the Thanksgiving. Just know that this Thanksgiving, the way things are trending, will be probably pretty warm at 67, but it's also going to be soggy, so I don't expect it to be a perfect Thanksgiving. But if you're surrounded by neighbors, if you're surrounded by family, and if you're surrounded by friends, then it's a win-win. I think it's the best way to have Thanksgiving. I think many of us will enjoy that this upcoming Thursday, 1 week from today. Wanda says it's snowing, and it's coming down hard in Newport. I imagine it would be. But again, I'm not most curious about how people are on the roads. Most people are probably settling in by 9 o'clock at night. Some who are working second or third shift may still be on the roads, but just be extra careful where you might be traveling depending on temperature. I do expect mid-30s here in town. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. See you tomorrow morning. Take care.